Hey everyone, my name is Zoran and I have the stunning Alaya F with me. And thank you so much for joining me on Urban Asian.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Not at all. Pleasure, Alaya. You have a film, of course, coming out on ZEE5 Global, which is, of course, a U-turn.
Yes.
And we're not going straight or taking a left or a right. We're taking a U-turn with
You
this.
turn.
Tell me a little bit about the film, Alaya.
um, the film is one of those films that I think everyone is going to enjoy. It's a
Right.
film that, for me, when it's about a thriller, it has to,
Yeah,
of course, thrill you. It has to excite you. It has to make you feel engaged nonstop, but it also has to really tie in very well. I
sure.
feel like loopholes or moments where it drags or all of that is a big no-no for me in a thriller.
Sure.
And in this supernatural thriller, I'm really, really looking forward to people seeing it because it's one of those films that you're going to be engaged throughout.
Sure.
It's going to grip your attention and you're going to feel really, really satisfied even at the end. It's not going to cop out at any point. It's not going to drag at any point. It's an interesting story
Right.
that is something that I've loved from the day I heard the script. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to people seeing it.
Well, that's amazing. And then you have a bit of a difference of your first film being Jawani Janeman with Saif Ali Khan, of course, which is a very different genre altogether. It was a bit of a rom-com, a
Yeah.
very light, breezy kind of a film to a very dark thriller, suspense kind of a film. As an actor, Laya, of course, it's early days in your career, but as an actor, do you sort of find it a bit of a challenge kind of dwelling into different genres so seamlessly and quickly?
I've been really fortunate since the start of my career to be getting roles that are very different from each other.
Sure.
Um, whether it's Jawani Janeman, which was a slice of life,
Yeah.
happy film where I got
Yeah.
to play a character that was actually quite similar to me
Sure.
in terms of personality. Then to go into Freddie, which was a film in which I played basically two different characters. One was the sweet demure girl, and then one was the villain of the film.
Right.
So into that, then from there moving into a movie called Almost Pyar, which was a more alternative space where again I played two characters, one being a school girl in
Sure.
small town India, to now reaching U-turn, where
Right.
I again play this really interesting character that's caught up in this big mess that's going on. And
Right.
I have always luckily been challenged with my characters, and it's been always been a great learning opportunity for me as an actor.
Sure.
Uh, U-turn is just the same for me. It's an exciting space. It's a new space,
Yeah.
and it's my first film where I'm basically shouldering it, which is a totally new experience. You go to
Yeah.
a shoot day and normally out of 5 scenes being shot, you're in maybe 3. Here it's
Sure.
like you're there in every single scene, morning to night. There's no
Yeah.
day where they're not shooting with you. It's
Yeah.
physically demanding, it's mentally demanding, and it's exciting.
Sure. Well, you mentioned about shouldering a film at such an early age in your career. And I think that kind of comes with a sense of responsibility as well, in a sense where sometimes when you have a star like a Saif Ali Khan, being the main star in a film, and of course, you being the newcomer in it, and now you being the biggest star in the film, do you sort of take responsibility as a lead actor as extra pressure, or does it sort of motivate you as an artist?
Both. I think it does
Both.
both. I
Sure.
think it is scary,
Yeah.
but it is really exciting. And it's
Sure.
one of those things that you have to do it at some point. So might as
Yeah.
well just do it now.
Yeah.
And again, I go back to the script because it's one of those things that the script is actually what's shouldering this film. The
True.
script is the most important element.
Yeah.
It's the story that really will draw people in. It has a very, very engaging quality to it. So I'm taking all the pressure off of me and throwing it onto the script. I know the script can handle it because I know the script is tight.
True. Well, I have to ask this question because you come from a bit of a lineage family and you have the most incredibly legendary grandfather, Kabir Bedi, and he's been sort of loved and applauded for so many years for some of the most incredible body of work. He recently had a book that's come out as well. Do you have conversations with him regarding work, and do you kind of draw inspiration from some of the work that he's done in his life and career?
Of course, I mean, he's someone that
Yeah.
always has the most interesting things to say, more
Sure.
than just advice.
Mm.
It's his stories, and
Yeah.
then you sort of take from it what you will, what resonates with you, what somehow
Sure.
might apply into your life. I think it's more about that when he's, you know, and now that he has this book out, I feel like that was a whole nother learning curve for me, reading those stories in that deeply personal, emotional way. Uh, yeah, I think, of course, I have so many conversations with him, and he has the most wonderful stories and anecdotes to tell. Yeah, I definitely, there's lots of great conversation that I draw from.
Sure. And this is also your first film on an OTT platform, in a sense. And I
Oh,
think, no, sorry, not the first that way, but I'm saying one of the many first few that you've done.
yeah.
And it's becoming a bit of a trend nowadays with a lot of kind of films coming out on OTT. Of course, it's taken up after COVID much more because of the way we've been
Yeah.
confined to home spaces and stuff. What is your take on this sort of changing trend of not having a big release in a cinema versus an OTT platform?
So right now I've had 2 releases that have come out in theaters and 2 releases that have come out on OTT platforms.
Sure.
I enjoyed both experiences just as much. You know, I really enjoy watching myself on the big screen, but I also enjoy watching myself on a smaller screen.
Sure.
For me, I've always been a very big OTT consumer. I love being able to just watch a film or a movie or a show in the comfort of my home. I thoroughly enjoy that experience. And yeah, I am not one of those people that feels bummed out when you hear that your film is coming out on an OTT platform. In fact, I feel like my film coming out now on ZEE5 Global is going to be incredible because it's going to, I think U-Turn and ZEE5 Global is actually the perfect match. I think the audience that it's going to open up to is going to be really, really special. And I think that's the one thing that I've really been looking forward to in my career, because I feel like U-Turn is actually one of my massier movies. I really do feel like this film, in its tone, in its approach, will really appeal to a very large audience.
Right. And so much of what you said earlier as well, in a sense, how Jawani Janiman was a bit of you in reality.
Yeah.
And the question to you is, art, in a sense, imitates reality.
Yeah.
How much of reality do you sort of bring into the kind of craft you kind of put in every single day on sets?
I mean, you have to draw from your own life. That's the only way you can authentically portray something. On a film like U-Turn, that gets a little tricky because you can't really. These are very not real circumstances that you are acting in. You know, it's hard to imagine. Yeah, you can't draw from your life, really. Also, it's another thing that all the settings are very exaggerated, right?
Yeah.
So to find a balance of how you're going to perform in that moment, if I act too subtly or too naturally, it doesn't match, because what's happening around you is extraordinary. So you have to sort of bring in those elements. So here, actually, on U-Turn, probably was my hardest challenge as an actor, which was to make a setting that is not real feel very, very real. So yeah, I think on other films it's been much more straightforward. You know, you draw from certain experiences or feelings or moments and you channel it. In this, it was actually very different. So it was very collaborative between me and Arif, where we would do a scene and then we'd have to go back to the monitor to be like, is it working? Do we need to take it up 2 notches higher? Do we need to pull it down? What works in this setting? So rather than only authentically feeling it and pushing it out, you also had to see what meter you were on a lot of the time.
Correct. True. And lastly, anything coming up after U-Turn? What's next on the cards?
Yeah, I have a wonderful film. I have a bunch of things on the cards, but out of what I can talk about right now, I have a wonderful film called Shree that's going to be coming out in September with the wonderful Rajkumar Rao. That is another very, very special film, a very lovely, incredibly inspirational story. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. And then lots more after that I can't talk about now, but we will talk about soon.
No, for sure. Thanks, Alaya. Wish you all the very best. Looking forward to lots of your work and good luck for U-Turn. Cheers.
Thank you so much.